go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible. Prison in Salvador, stuck between the bars, strong hands gone, but you can never go back, struggle to survive, you're stuck alive. Even if you've been misled, tell your dreams again. Even if you can't forget, take a quick look and settle your regrets. Laying out the bricks now, as if you need a wall, just like the fall. Your bones are not even broken yet, so push yourself through without your regret. Even if you've been misled, tell your dreams again. Even if you can't forget, take a quick look and settle your regrets.
Get those view numbers pumped up. Even if you get misled, tell your dreams again. Even if you can't forget, take a quick look and settle your regrets.
What's up, guys? How are you doing this Monday morning? Loving life, getting ready. We got our Christmas rush is kind of done. DUN done. Trying to get this there we go. I like that much better. Let's close some of these windows. Okay, so we had a little bit of some overlap Friday. I learned how to use StreamYard on mobile. That was fun. So what happened was at 7 o'clock on Friday morning, I found out that we were still having a weekend show. And the runners of the show wanted me to still show up. So luckily I was all packed up, ready to go. I packed everything up. I ran an hour up, set up my show, and showed you guys kind of how I set up my show, how I set up my booth for a show. In the meantime, I have my new router machine going up, and that got put on hold till I got done with the show. So now, last night, I was retrofitting the small garage for the small milling machine, the new router, and the supercarve router. So that's what we're working on today. On top of that, the supercarve has to be cutting today in its new spot. That's going to be interesting. We're going to find out exactly how good we actually are and go from there. But for the most part, it's pretty good. We're doing good. We're going to get it, and it's going to make waves. I'm excited about that, and we're going to move forward. You know, we got some people in here. Copperhead Mike's on as always, every day checking in. He's giving me a good morning. We just talked about why I didn't get it running. His custom built plasma machine. He's getting some answers on the Z drive. We got our boy Josh out there. He's got his router machine moving X and Y. He hasn't figured out why Z isn't moving yet. I gave him a couple things to check out. Hopefully that will do something for him. Let's see. There. Try and get you guys as close to me as possible. So that was kind of, we had a really good weekend. there wasn't a large population at this show. There weren't a lot of people that were in the mood to buy, but the ones that bought big. So I was pretty excited about that. We are working with a few new businesses to do production work for them. Yeah, I'm excited where that's going. We made a couple new connections, and hopefully we get everything squared away. On top of that, we got some prospects of traveling to Florida, and I know I'm definitely going to have to travel to Colorado. That's a for sure. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We've got another travel plan to Kentucky, and going from there. So we got some major traveling going on over the next 3 months. And then on top of it, once I get this garage set up, I think what I'm going to do is host a weekend, a workshop weekend. You guys we'll have a classroom setting, probably at the local hotel. We'll get a conference room, and I'll put on a educational workshop there, and then one of the days we'll come in and actually play in my garage for teaching some stuff. Okay. That's kind of where I'm looking at in the new year. We're definitely going to get the education popping. I think education is key. And that kind of leads me into this morning's conversation. It's probably going to be a quick and easy show. Just for the simple fact that this is a pretty broad topic, and some people like it, some people don't. But I was asked, where did I learn about robotics? And realistically, I learned from Google. I taught myself what I wanted to do. Let's see here. I'm trying to bring up my Google screen here. All right. So I basically went and searched mechatronics. And what that is actually automating your production workflow. Okay. And I just did a deep dive right into a lot of the stuff. And I started off with a lot of there's a product called the DoBot. Mechatronics. So DoBot is it's a robotic arm. Okay. And they have different connectors to it that they can show you how to run different programs, and how to set up relays and motors, and how to trigger a motor off of a relay once the robotic arm hits a certain trigger, and things like that. It was definitely one of those, how do I want to say it was an eye-opener, because I knew CNC machines, and then I wanted to learn robotics. So I started doing a deep dive into the robotics first. And that's when I started building the robotic arms. And here's this right here was probably the video that hit me right off the bat. And it's by Chris Hurd and Jim. It's Chris and Jim CIM. on YouTube. And so what they do is they teach a course. Let's see here. So they actually teach a robotics course, and just a bunch of different aspects of it. Okay. And that feeder was one of the ones that caught my eye. And so I started doing a lot of research on what they were putting out. Right here's the feeder video. And then I started looking at some of their other stuff, and they have a digital handshake module that they put out. And I really did not understand what a digital handshake was. So then I started going down the rabbit hole of digital handshakes and what is digital handshakes. And then that brought me to turning on and off the robot in accordance with the operation of the machine, the CNC machine. So as the CNC machine is running, the robot arm has to have a safety lock so that it doesn't crash into the CNC machine while it's loading and unloading. Okay. And I actually messaged Chris, and he started talking to me. I haven't talked to him in a couple months, but he really made me see CC, I'll talk to you in just a minute, my man. All right. But he kind of explained what a handshake was. So let's see here. They've got the product on here, I think. You could see how many things they go through, but they talk about ladder logic and programming the robots on top of everything else. Let's see if we can bring up another Chris and Jim. There we go. All right. Robotics. They did a revamp on this. This is nice. Presentation, field templates. See, these are a lot of the tutorials that I started researching, and I started learning about like Blocky and Dubot and Vex, and just a bunch of different setups. And this right here was the setup that I used to really start getting into the robotics end of things and understanding. Now they're teaching middle school, high school kids robotics. So I used what I learned from them, very elementary, introductory type information, to then search Google and take a slide down that rabbit hole to figure out how to add relays into conveyor systems and how to program everything. And some stuff you need a program for, and some stuff you don't. Some stuff you just need an on and off switch or an interlock switch or anything like that. But these guys really did, they really did a number on like understanding work cell design, input output guides. They have a handshake. This is the thing that I didn't understand, was the handshake module. So you actually had to have an input from one microcontroller to an input on the other microcontroller. And I started really understanding why and how. And once you start understanding that stuff, you go, oh, okay, this is how this interacts and this is how you do it. And once you start understanding that, you go in and you say, oh, okay, handshake. And now it goes through all the handshakes. And I just read everything I could. And this is a handshake board. And they're programming it. And I'm like, okay, what's all this stuff? I have no idea what this is. So I would just dive into Google and try and find all the different communicators and everything. And these guys were really at the forefront of my research, and Chris was at the forefront of my research. I'm trying to find, they actually made a handshake board. There we go. Handshake modules. So this is the board. This was actually the whole system that I learned how to do the digital handshakes. And this was the basis for me integrating robotic arms into the Arduino based CNC routers like the X-Carve and stuff like that. All of my setup you can do through a handshake module like this using opto isolators and different voltage boards and stuff, and 555 timers. So it's just a culmination of a whole bunch of education that I did. And then once I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, this is how this interacts. This is how we do this, and move forward from there. They go through a lot of this stuff, and I'm like, I'm really amazed by it, and I like it. And then once I did that, I went through and searched YouTube on mechatronics, and I just started looking at how all of these different machines operated and how they were teaching kids how to do it, and then how they were teaching college students how to do it. And everything that you want to know is right here. Everything. You just have to know what to search for, and you have to know how to extrapolate from pictures and videos the information that you're looking for. You may not understand what you're seeing, but like in this, they're doing an industrial relay board with PLCs. That's something I had no idea about beforehand, but now I do. And it's all because I took time to go through and look at this stuff. So this one is a really good one. Callum Knott. And these two videos here, this control valve and pneumatics understanding, are great instructional videos, I guess you'll say, because what he did was he took the controllers or the control valves and the pneumatics that are associated with it, and he broke down how they work. And then that led me into how I use powered solenoids. So I can use 110 volt solenoids on pneumatic actuators to implement different tooling and turn different tooling on and off at different times with relays. you know, and it's all because of watching these videos. So you don't have to be perfect at what you do, but you have to understand how to be a self-starter and how to um, find the answers, work on the answers, do the stuff that nobody else is willing to do, and you're going to do things that nobody else can. I don't really know what I do or how I do it. I do it. I find all the information that I need, and then from there I actually implement it. And once I implement it, um, I work on it until it works. You know, this design here, I didn't understand. Like, this is a gripper arm, right? And the the gripper arm is nothing more realistically than a 3 to 5 axis uh, CNC machine. So when you think about it, you have a 3 to 5 axis CNC machine that then just has a program written on it that is turned on whenever a piece hits a certain switch. So I'll have a relay set up that the input trigger is on a conveyor belt. It'll go by and trigger a proximity sensor or a opto isolator interrupter circuit, and that will be the on for the robotic arm, the vacuum actuator, to start doing its movements, its turns, its runs, and everything like that. We're lucky in this day and age, because if you had a arm like this and you wanted to do like a 6-axis or a 5-axis or anything like that, and you wanted to run that arm off of, say, Mach 3, you'd have to have a desktop computer. In today's day and age, we don't have to have that. You guys have the Raspberry Pi computers. And I've been doing a lot of research with that aspect of it, because we can use Raspberry Pis and Arduinos and then run Mach 3 on those. And we can actually put the Raspberry Pi right into the control box on this arm. And the control box is 7 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches deep, instead of having a full like machine controller control box. It'd be like 24 inches, 36 inches tall, 12 inches deep, and you're talking 18 inches wide and stuff like that. It just, there's a lot of things with these that you can do and you can teach yourself if you understand. And then to tie it all in, this was one of the ones that really caught my eye, was the camera platform. And I don't know why. So this was a Dubot camera platform. It was a Kickstarter program. And whenever I started learning how to actually, whenever I started learning how to actually do this videography and stuff, I was seeing this and I was like, oh, I don't even have to have another person in my shop to do that. I can actually use the robotic arms that I'm building, that I taught myself how to build for mechatronics, to be my camera people, and you can actually rig up photo sensors to track your movement. And then it's just as simple as writing a program to, hey, you know, follow this facial feature, and it locks onto that facial feature and it will actually follow you. Or you give a trigonomic formula, a triangulation formula, sine, cosine, and it will actually track based on that triangulation. And so mechatronics can go so much deeper than what we're giving credit to and for. I really, I'm really amazed at how deep this stuff goes. For the simple fact that I had no idea. And all this stuff was magic to me at one point. And now when I look at it, it's not magic. It's just a matter of figuring out where are they putting the trigger. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Everybody thought it was magic until the curtain was pulled back. And he says, oh, yeah, I pulled this handle and I pulled this handle and smoke came out. And, it's stuff like that. And you look at it and you're like, wow, it's not as difficult as I'm making it. I'm making it difficult. It's not a difficult task, and I see that and I'm like, wow, I had no idea where this journey was going to take me. And now I'm like, wow, I had no idea how advanced I've made myself and how I've been able to advance a hobby CNC setup for the masses to do robotic cell production. Like, you can set up your own work cell for about $20,000. You can set up a work cell and be producing wooden signs 24/7. And you say $20,000. Oh my God. That's the included cost of the robotic arm, the parts for it, the loaders and unloaders, the CNC router. That's everything, guys. Like, you can put one in your studio apartment. You can put a robotic work cell in there, soundproof the room, and run it 24/7. And you can be producing stuff out of your apartment that you can then package and ship worldwide. You can get contracts with companies to produce other stuff. I mean, at what point in time in history have we ever had this opportunity? A man in his garage can make an industrial setup that runs 24/7 and make his money. It's, to me, that is awesome. It's crazy. It's enlightening. It's so advanced and so awesome. And as you can tell, I get excited about this stuff. I'm jazzed because I'm looking at these and I'm going, the applications for these are endless. Check this out. This is just a rotation here, a rotation here, a rotation here, and a ladder that goes up and down. 4 axes. If you can program a 4-axis CNC, if you could program a 3-axis CNC, you could possibly teach yourself how to program a robotic arm to load and unload a machine for you with very little education. And then you just start working on safety interlocks, safety changes, stuff like that. Like this right here was the biggest hurdle for me to understand. Okay. So I built a couple Anin robotics arms, and one of the robotic arm videos that I saw was, let's see here. Anin robotics. Let's see. Here it is. This right here revolutionized my world. Like I reached out to BarryBot 3D creator Warner Barry. These are the robotic arms that I started building way back. This is the control box for them. Okay, that's the safety interlock, the emergency off switch. Okay, these are all the parts. He 3D printed his robotic arm. This is the control box for it. Now, when I first saw this, I had no idea what was going on here. Okay, this is a track on linear bearing guides. They use round linear bearings right here, 4 of them, mounted to a table. Control box goes up to this control box driver. Motor right here to turn the lead screw to move the robotic arm in and out. Okay. He's using a Tormach machine. You can buy this mill for about $19,000. Okay. And you can have it in your garage making parts for you all day long. All right. So watch what this does. Okay. Right here. Prime example. This is a plastic, a Delron plastic, I think, part. Okay. It is its own secluded machine. This is one separate machine. So he has a 3D printed robotic arm right here using steppers. Mine uses steppers with encoders, but his is just open loop. Okay. This is the very first version. It's bolted down to this table here, and that table slides in and out. This is the material loader. So once the piece is taken off, this switch is tripped and opens up the power. And when the power is open, the next piece of material raises up in a ladder. On top of that, you have all of these solenoids that actually clamp the piece in place. So, all right, it started. Okay, program's done. Okay, it's going to go up. It's going to hit a switch. Right here, it hits a safety interlock switch. It's moving to, the mill is moving to a safe Z, a safe XY. The robot arm is now moving forward because that switch is hit. The circuit is moving. The robotic arm moves in. These are custom made grippers. Now this is all programmed. Okay. So now the gripper comes in, the robotic arm is programmed. It has safety interlock switches here. It hits, whenever it comes down, it hits a safety interlock that operates a relay. The relay turns on the B component of the grippers, the pneumatic grippers on the sides of the fixture. It comes out. Okay, it's traveling back. As it travels back, it hits another safety switch. While that safety switch is hit, the robot is finishing its drop. Okay. There's a interlock switch here to operate a relay in the robotic arm area. At the same time, air is blowing all the contaminants off of the fixture plate. The robotic arm has a trigger switch right here saying, hey, we're loaded. Picks up material. Look at this. The ladder actually raises until the optic sensor, the proximity sensor, has something in front of it. It goes from green on to off. It's moving. It goes in, drops. Okay, it hit that safety switch. This one actually pushes it in against the fixture pins to make sure it's aligned. Then by timer, this relay is let off and the grippers close. It moves away to its safe. And now this starts its full movement. Does a full tool change. Comes right over to the program. The vacuum system starts. The mill starts doing its pocketing. And it runs through all over again. And it's really that simple. I have a couple thousands of dollars wrapped up in robotic arms, in different 3D printed fixtures such as this. And that's really it. And then the CNC machines. I mean, you don't get much simpler or easier or better than that. And if that doesn't get you jazzed as a operator, as a machinist, as an entrepreneur, I can't help you. That's just ridiculous. You know, think of the different applications. He has it on extrusion there so he can modify the width. The robotic arm is just crazy. And Warner and Chris are both top-notch individuals. So now, you know, I'm sitting here going, man, that is just awesome to sit and think and ponder and then implement. And all of it's because I did some YouTube research, I did some Google research, and I started working out in my head what exactly was it that I was trying to accomplish. Let's see here. I've got 13 messages going on here. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out a way. I want you guys to be able to see where I'm at in the shop. So let me see if I can have my daughter jump on. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my daughter and see if I can use her phone to jump into this live stream, and we'll go out to the garage. I'm trying some new stuff on this StreamYard, and we're going to make it happen. So you guys will be able to get a live show here, but we'll also be able to bring in cameras from the garage. So give me a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Turns out my daughter's on online class right now, so we can't because she's using her phone. But I'm going to figure out a way to bring in another camera. I don't know what I got to do for that. If I have to set up another account, and maybe I can set up another account and send a StreamYard message out to that account and go from there. You know, I'm going to try something here. There is no setup like that. I can't do that. I'll have to create another account. But I was going to take you guys out to the shop to start showing you some of the setups for what we're doing. Okay, let's make something real quick here. I want to show you guys Warner. Barry. And we are going to do, I just want Times New Roman on the MT. All right. Chris and Jim CIM. Let's see here. Callum. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to put these names up for you guys so you can actually start doing your own research utilizing these guys. All right. All right. Share screen. I don't want to invite people. I want to share my screen. Okay, these are the group of guys you want to look up. Those are the 3 that were featured in the show today. And then you also want to look up mechatronics. There. Those are the things you want to look up today, and start doing your research, and you're going to deep dive into that rabbit hole. And when you come out, you're going to be like Alice. Your eyes are going to be opened, and there's going to be so many cool things that you're going to learn. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. All right. So that is that. We're not going to save that. So CNC asked, how did the show go? Did you have good attendance? We did not have great attendance. The show went well because the small attendance that we had people that came in to buy stuff, and they wanted to buy big. So I sold 2, 3, 4. I sold 4 large pieces at the show, and that kind of made my show. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have been able to buy my wallboard and my light that I put in the garage yesterday. So I'm pretty thankful for that. With that being said, guys, I think we got a pretty good broadcast in today. We were up on views and everything. So I like it. Thank you guys very much for your time. I'm going to end it, and I got to get out and work later.